Utter stillness consumes the void of space. Clocks melting in desolate lands. Time becomes unknown. Umbras are effaced without mercy. The beat of the heart begins to rush. The mind enters a mighty journey. Swirls of memories wandering into thin air as fear deserts the vault. Looking above the obscure lush sky, a faint voice whispering prayers. You are not alone, even when it's dark and you cannot see. As the sight enters a state of adjustments, you are not alone. A tall cypress or mango tree, breathing life and giving life to those who seek. 11 stars up above where eternal life shall be. In the midst of the dark night, look above. Let your sight adjust and your heart beat. Let your mind dream heavy brushstrokes of vivid beams and sunflowers at a window's peak. In the starry night, dream a dream. Let it caress away your tremors, accompany you in the infinity of time. Allow the wind to grace your hands. Let the poet revive. Oh, let it write. Oh, so many verses that the wind will lead to faraway lands, where the starry nights accompany you and me tonight.
We live in an era that is guided by materialism, and with materialism comes technology, and with technology comes ignorance. Ignorance of the beauty in life, ignorance of life itself. What is the first thing that we do as we wake up every morning? The first thing that we do is reach for our cell phones. How many of us can say, I don't do that? We've unconsciously granted technology the power over our brains. It's a very difficult fact to discern. Technology has taken over us. The machines, whether it's a cell phone, a computer, they have the power over our brains. And it's not only as we wake up that we grant the machines the power over us. It is throughout every second of the day that the machines have the power to direct our brains in a certain way. Perhaps you haven't noticed it. You've become accustomed to the way the machine leads your everyday moments. It's become almost an impossibility for us to even take a step outside and admire the beauty of the night. And it's even harder for us to admit that if we were free of the machines for just 1 second, if we let the brain breathe, dream, and walk on its own, it has the power to take us to unknown places. If we grant our brains the autonomy it deserves, it has the power to make us fly into another universe. The only limit with our imagination and to our brains is the limit that we create upon us. By allowing machines to govern our realities, we are not allowing our brains to be free. We're not allowing our brains to breathe. And when we do that, we have no possibility of being ourselves. If you take a moment of your time and you imagine something, you can transport yourself to that moment. We've all heard of time traveling, but what about mind traveling? At this moment, most of you will be asking yourselves, so what does time traveling and mind traveling have to do with being captivated by technology and the machines? It really has to do with everything. It even has something to do with Vincent Van Gogh. And when I'm talking about mind traveling, I'm talking about returning to those memories that one has, or even taking something and creating it in your brain, which is what we will do in just a second. When we talk about time traveling, it would seem as if we're only talking about something that could possibly exist within magical realism, but it is very much part of our reality. When we take instances in our life to mind travel, we are capable of time traveling as well. Every time that we return to a memory, whether we close our eyes or not, even if it's not in a physical way, We time travel. We go back in time and relive those instances. Today I want us to mind travel and to time travel at the same time to the year 1889. Today I want to take you to the Starry Night. Vincent Van Gogh, a post-impressionist artist, this man with so many abrupt and painful feelings inside was able to produce paintings that today made him found glory in the history of art. Perhaps you remember this amazing artist that was able to captivate the night as one who was crazy and that in a moment of distress cut out his earlobe after he had the altercation with his friend, another painter, Paul Gauguin, at the Yellow House in France. After this altercation, Van Gogh decided to admit himself to a mental asylum where he was able to captivate the night. We don't exactly know if it was actually Van Gogh, the one who mutilated his earlobe, or if it was Gauguin in an altercation that did it for him. But either way, whether Van Gogh was a lunatic, whether he was crazy or not, that's not the important thing for us to know. That night or that day when Vincent Van Gogh created the Starry Night, whether it was by memory, we can understand that Vincent Van Gogh was able to seize the night with heavy brush strokes and swirling clouds, something that a lot of us ignore and do not do. As Vincent Van Gogh, we have the ability to seize the night, to seize that moment. But once again, we are too captivated. The machines have captivated our brains. They have control over us. We are slaves of technology. We are slaves of computers, cell phones, televisions, and any other device. It is technology that rules and reigns the earth, only because we've allowed it. But it is important today to know that as Vincent Van Gogh, we have the ability to create. We have the ability to let our minds dream. This amazing artist was able to give us his emotions on a painted canvas. Through the shining stars and the dark night, he was able to show us that not even the night is empty. We tend to think that the dark evokes scariness and emptiness at the same time, but we are unaware of the fact that the night is so plenty. It's so full of light, full of stars, full of the moon. We've allowed the machines to take over our days, but are we going to allow the machines to take over the night as well? We've become incapable of walking on our own, of thinking on our own. We depend on a machine to give us the information. We depend on the machine to take us to a dream. And that is not correct. Our brains have the ability to do all of that by themselves. It's just that we've become accustomed to allowing the machine to do it for us. Today I would like for us to admire the starry night. The machines take up most of our day, or all of our day if I should say. But the night, are you going to allow the machine to take that away from you as well? Take a step away from the machine and allow yourself to breathe the pure air of the night. Look above and see those beautiful stars in the sky. Today I would like for us to dream, to take that moment of our time and free ourselves from technology. And of course it's ironic, the only way for you to have access to this information is actually through a machine. Today all that matters is that you allow your brain the freedom, the liberty to dream, to let it take you to the beautiful, unimaginable places. Remember, only you are able to create barriers for your brain. This is Tannya Villalvazo for All That Matters. Thank you. I will see you guys next week.